I have a few bookish friends, and I'm going to reach out to them, let them have a look at my TBR, and let them pick what I read for the week. Okay, so I'm going to text my friend Erin, and I'm going to give her 6 options that are in my Libby app right now. So we've got Spanish Love Deception, Rebel Witch, When He Was Wicked, which is the next in the Bridgerton series, Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, Dixon Rule, and Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. So I'm going to send off those 6 options to her and see what she comes back with. So I'm probably going to have to put this on pause until she gets back to me, and then we'll go from there. So we'll see what she says. Okay, so she texted me back. She said, oh, sweet. Rebel Witch is what she wants to read also. So Rebel Witch is going to be our first book, which is going to be our audiobook for this week. This is the second book to the Heartless Hunter series, and it's a fantasy. And I haven't read a fantasy since Bridge Kingdom months ago. So I need to pick up some fantasy because I've been kind of lacking lately. I just find they take a lot more brain power, so I tend to put them a little bit more on the back burner. So that is our first pick for the week. And now I'm going to text a photo to my other friend Jessica of my physical TBR on my cart here for the top row. So we've got horror, we've got more fantasy, dark romance, 2 thrillers. So I'm going to take a photo and send that over, and we'll see what she picks. Oh, okay. So Jess says, everyone in my family has killed someone. No explanation, no nothing. So I think she also wants to read this. I've had a couple of conversations with her before. So this one is a part of a 3-book series. I have book number 2 here. I got this one for Christmas, and I actually found this one at a library book sale. So I had book 2. So for Christmas, I asked for this in our friend's gift exchange. Shout out to Dylan for gifting this to me. So this one is about, there's a couple different descriptions here. Everyone in my family has killed someone. Some of us, the high achievers, have killed more than once. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it's the truth. Some of us are good, others are bad, some just unfortunate. Have I killed someone? Yes. Yes, I have. Who was it? Let's get started. My understanding is that this is a little bit kind of different in storytelling, where it kind of not narrates this, but the main character, Ernie, is a crime fiction aficionado. So he kind of writes, my understanding is he writes books. So he kind of has, as he's telling the story, he kind of is, it's like a story retelling. It's not just a normal book. It's kind of like a bit of a retelling previous events kind of thing, like kind of doing, not flashbacks, but I don't know how to describe it. So this seems like it's gonna be quite unique of a thriller. So I think what I'm going to do is start with Rebel Witch first. Just because, yeah, I haven't done a fantasy in quite a while, and I just read a thriller recently, a Frida McFadden one. So I'm going to pick up Rebel Witch and kind of go from there. So I will check back in once we have an update. it is, what day is it? Tuesday. It is Tuesday. And I am about almost halfway through on Rebel Witch. I've been listening to it on audiobook the past few days. It's slow. It's slow. We know enemies to lovers. We know slow burn, but the slow burn is very much slow burning. Gideon still hates Rune. Rune is upset. And the first 25%, there hasn't really been anything. It's been dragging on. It's a little bit boring. And we pick up kind of right where Heartless Hunter left off. So we see a lot of constant mistrust, a lot of back and forth between the two. They kind of don't know really what they want. We're kind of going from place to place to place. We had more scenes of the magic system in terms of different kinds of spells and her spellcasting room. Yeah, so it's been nice to kind of jump back into the inner workings of that. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. But with it being really slow this first little bit, it's starting to pick up. But yeah, I don't really see the romance. There's tension, sure, but I don't really see the romance necessarily. We have a lot of back and forth. Nobody knows what they want. So it's created a lot of miscommunication, a lot of mistrust, and constant like self-doubt. So it's been a little bit annoying. So I'm hoping that over the next little while, I don't know how we're going to fit everything in the last half of the book, but yeah. So far, we're lacking a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And I'm hoping that the last little bit will pick up because I'm getting a little bit bored. If I had to rate it as of right now, I would probably rate it about a 3-star. It's not awful, don't get me wrong. It's just, I need more from it. I need more depth. I need more romance. Yeah, I don't know. We need a little bit deeper. We need to talk about deep things. We need another level. And I know it's YA, and I keep saying that I need to kind of stray away from YA, but here we are. It was a series that I've already started, and I wanted to continue and finish it off because it's just a duology. So I figured, okay, let's figure out how this ends. So I am going to carry on. It is currently Tuesday, so I'm going to see if I can finish it before maybe Thursday or Friday. Yeah, so I will check back in once we have a bit more of an update. We are back. It is now Thursday evening, and I finished Rebel Witch. It gets much better. I was originally going to rate this a 3.75 stars, but after thinking about it, I'm gonna have to change it. So I'm going to rate this a 3.25 stars because while it's not awful, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the story. It's just, like I mentioned before, the first 25% was very slow, and it definitely picked up. Stick with it. We definitely continue with the mistrust. There is just constant miscommunication. And Rune finally opens up and says, well, I did have feelings for you. And Gideon, a little light bulb goes off and goes, oh, you weren't trying to deceive me the entire time? So he had a bit of an epiphany, if you will. So, all in all, it was very predictable. We saw everything coming from a mile away, aside from one plot twist that occurred, but we saw it we didn't see, okay, it was predictable, but I knew something was coming, just I thought it was going to go a different direction, but than what it did. So there was also another tidbit of information that came up, and I felt like it was just tossed in at the end in a last-ditch effort to like save everyone, I guess. So I don't know, it was just very predictable. I saw things coming a mile away. While it was fun, entertaining, will it stick with me? No. Is it memorable? No. I can't say that it's the best thing I've ever read. It's not great. It's just wasn't quite for me. It wasn't quite for me. Overall, it was quick. It was fun. Very predictable. I'm going to give it a 3.25 stars for that. It's not a bad rating. It's just the story was just not quite for me. The series was just not quite for me. It was just a little bit lacking in my opinion. So we are now going to start Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. This was Jess's pick, and I'm excited. This is going to be murder mystery, but like in a narration kind of way. My description earlier, I couldn't form words apparently, so this is going to be more of a narration because I did some digging, and the main character, he writes books on how to write books, if that makes sense. So my understanding is that there's narration through here, kind of inner monologue and whatnot. This is a different kind of writing style than what I'm normally used to, so I'm curious to see. I also have the audiobook in Libby as well, so I might do like not an immersive read, but I might kind of do both at once, where while I'm at work tomorrow, I can get started, and then I just saw a chapter. Oh, that's so funny. Chapter 9. Oh, this is cool. So on the back, I mentioned how it has like my brother, my stepbrother, my wife, my father. So it looks like it's categorized by person, and it has my wife. And then what I just saw is, I don't want to talk about it. Okay. And then it jumps into the next family member. That's funny. So I'm going to get started on this. I'm going to start it on the Libby app, and then this weekend I'm going to read it physically. So I will check back in when we have an update. I'm curious to see how this is going to go with it being a different kind of writing style. So we'll see how it goes. Hello, friends. It is a few days later. I had some errands to do today, and I found myself in the downtown area. And I did something that I said I wasn't going to do for quite some time, but I'm just a girl. And I went to the book boudoir again. So we found a few things. I had the whole entire store to myself. It was glorious. I did not feel frazzled at all. I didn't feel like I was on a time crunch. So I took my time and I looked around. And I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was lovely. It was a lovely little afternoon. So I got 2 books and a bookish item, if you will. I didn't film in there just because there were a few workers. One was stacking books in the corner, and I don't like to whip my phone out in public unless I'm alone. So while I had the bookstore to myself, there was still staff, and I got weirded out. So I just took some photos. And you've already seen the book boudoir previously, so if you want to check it out again, pop on over to my Instagram page. But yeah, so got a couple things. I found this cutie little bookmark. It says, fueled by caffeine and smut, with a pink little tassel. I just thought it was just the cutest little thing. And how can you not, right? So I got this. And I have a bunch of these bookmarks. Here's one. I have a bunch of these bookmarks already. But they're great because they're metal. And typically I like to sit there and I fidget as I read, and I always break bookmarks. I'm trying to be a lot more conscious that I'm not doing that. So I tend to, when I find something that I like and it works, I go with it. So metal, it's gonna be a game changer because you can't bend them, right? So I don't destroy these as often. Yeah, so I got a cutie little bookmark. And then I got 2 books. So this first one, this is the first one that I saw. Now, it's been everywhere online. This is Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. Everyone has seen this everywhere. I hear absolutely amazing things lately. And this is like a deluxe special edition. If you look at it, it's got gold foiling. It's got gold foiling. And you open it up. And on the front cover, maybe that's all love is in the end. An endless tempting of fate. How gorgeous is this? It's so stinking pretty. So I saw this. Oh, do you hear that? Oh. Yeah, just some ASMR from the foiling. I love that. I love that sound. So this is kind of, I've never read it. I also hear great things, but Invisible Life of Aggie LaRue meets How to Lose a Time War. So Evelyn can remember all her past lives. She can also remember that in every single one, she's been murdered before her 18th birthday by Arden, a supernatural being linked to her soul. The problem is that she's quite fond of the life she's in now, and her little sister needs her in order to stay alive. If Evelyn wants to save her sister, she'll have to find the centuries-old devil who haunts her through each life before they find her first. Figure out why she's being haunted and finally break their curse and try not to fall in love again. So this is, they end up falling for each other in every life that they have. And they're trying to run from each other. So yeah, I am very intrigued by this. I've been seeing it all over. Ellen Catherine posted about it recently, and I've just been seeing it everywhere. So as soon as she reviewed it, I went, yeah, babe. Yeah, we're gonna pick it up. Was I planning on picking up this soon? No. But I saw it. It was deluxe edition. It was right in a special little spot. There was only 2 left, and I went, okay, I'm gonna get that. So Our Infinite Fates is the first book that I picked up. And then the second one that I picked up is an indie book. Now, when I went to the Book Boudoir back in, what was it, February, I went with my girlfriend Aaliyah, and she picked up this book. And it sounds amazing. I didn't pick it up at the time because, one, I was very overwhelmed with the millions of people that were in there. And I had specific books that I had in mind that I wanted to get. So I got those instead. But I saw this again today, and I figured I would read the back of it again, see if it's intriguing me, and it spoke to me. So I picked it up after all. This is called The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia. And I'm not going to lie, the cover is not the most appealing, per se. We've got girl with her back to us, her long black hair, and a white boa constrictor looking snake kind of surrounding her. So it's not the most appealing cover. However, it sounds really good. So amidst the gaslit alleys and cobblestone streets of Victorian London, 2 killers find themselves entangled in a waltz, though they can't escape. Alina Lees, a botanist and hobbyist poisoner, has a pastime of killing unsavory men in her own twisted scene of poetic justice. When she targets the conceited playboy Silas Forbes, only to find him in her apothecary the following week, She discovers human men are the least of her problems. The pair's unlikely association sparks gossip among affluent society. As their mysterious bond deepens, a chilling truth emerges, concealing identities, lurking foes, and questions as plentiful as the Hydra's head brew within its haunting gothic tale of violent passion. Will Silas and Alina find themselves in each other's arms, or will the shadows of their past keep them apart? So it sounds so good. It is a little indie published book. I'm gonna look up the author, but yeah, my friend Aaliyah picked it up, and as soon as I saw it again, I'm like, is this meant to be? Maybe. They only had 2 books left, and they were actually damaged, so I did get 10% off this one, but it's just a tiny little corner bend here. The other one, the spine was cracked, half the pages were bent, so I think that one like fell off the shelf or someone dropped it or something or other. So this one was in much better condition. So I got the Poisoner. So that's my little haul for the day. And then everyone in my family has killed someone. We're all here for an update. So I am on page 185. We're about halfway through. Chapter 23. So this is very unique. I'm really enjoying this. It's very, like I mentioned before, it's a different kind of like storytelling per se. This is really interesting. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's a murder mystery of, I don't want to give away too much because there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of family members, but family goes, this is actually in Australia that this takes place. So family goes on a vacation to like a mountain snow ski resort kind of village. So they're on this resort and a murder takes place and they have to try to figure out what happened, who done it, what's going on. There's a lot of moving parts. As you can tell by the title, people have been killing people. So we're trying to learn the gears on, okay, well, who, how, who, what, where, when, who killed who, why has everyone killed someone? And they kind of call it like the Cunningham curse per se. So it's really fun so far. Got emails, which is really cool. It's funny because I think this is meant to be a book that Ernest Cunningham writes. A book about how to write a book, because like this is, I think, the publisher. And it's like, hi Ernest, good to hear from you. I'm afraid that the photographic section at the midway point would require gloss paper insert, not to mention full color printing. So it's like this email is at the halfway point. So I think Ernest wanted to insert certain pages into this book, and this is like the printing saying, no, we can't make that work. So it's like, it's different. It's cool. It's like a really good palette cleanser per se. And I like the way that this is written. I started off with listening to the audiobook for the first like chapter or two the other day, and I really like that as well. They do have accents, but they're not heavy Australian accents like I would have thought. So I wish that the narrator would have had a little bit more heavier of an Australian accent, since this is based in Australia. So I'm really enjoying this. It's a really fun time so far. We're going to carry on, and I will check back in when we are all finished. I had a chance to finally finish Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. This was really fun. It is a palate cleanser. It's super unique. Like I mentioned previously, it's an author writing books about how to write books. So we have a lot of like cool inner monologue, not necessarily like bad narration. It was really like cool the way that the author does this. And just a lot of like inner dealings. And it was very unique. I really, really enjoyed this. I'm going to have to rate this a 4-star in total. So I can't give a whole lot out, but this is basically placed in Australia at a ski resort. Family all meets up. Murders start happening, and they're trying to do like a on-the-spot whodunit, what's going on, investigation sort of thing within the family. So we have a lot of inner workings, a lot of Easter eggs, and you really have to pay attention to what's going on throughout, because there's a couple of like really important conversations that take place, and I find myself having to go back and reread certain pages multiple times over to like fully comprehend what's going on, because there's so many characters involved in this, and if you miss something, you are totally lost. So it's not one of those books that you can just skim. So I was fully invested in it, but there was like 3 solid pages where I had to go back and read it like 3-4 times to be like, okay, hold on, wait, what characters, who said what's going where? So it's definitely one of those we have to use a lot of brain power to figure out, okay, hold on, what's going on. If you were to listen to this on audiobook, you would have to listen to it on like the lowest speed possible just to slowly comprehend what's going on, because it happens so fast. And if you miss an important detail, then you don't understand the rest of it. So you really have to pay attention. But yeah, so the last, I want to say 25% of this, I think. The last 25% of this was super fast paced, because it's mostly an explanation of everything that's happened on in the beginning of the book. And there's a lot of plot twists. It's kind of like a domino effect where this caused this, which caused this, which caused this, which caused this. And it all happens, and Ernest, our main character, figures it all out and kind of explains it as it goes in the last 25%. You have Easter eggs throughout the book where we refer back and go, okay, well, this is what I think happened due to the XYZ. And there's not a whole lot of information initially to make you even think that that's the path it's going to go down. So I really enjoyed this. This was super cool, super unique, very, very fun, very fun. And I would definitely rate this a 4 stars. I also really like, books sometimes have like the tethered edges where they're not all uniform and they're kind of just like scrapbook style. I really like that. It's super cool to have a book like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. There is Everyone on This Train is a Suspect, which is number 2. I think I'm going to read that in the fall, because the third one is Everyone This Christmas Has Secrets, I think. I know it's a Christmas one, and I want to read that at Christmas. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this. So overall, we had a really great week of recommendations from friends. We had Rebel Witch that Erin recommended, which was book number 2 in the Crimson Moth / Heartless Hunter duology. So that finishes actually the duology off. This was a 3.25 stars. It was good. It was fun. It was a little bit slower pace. And I think I've definitely realized that I need to kind of redirect from the YA fantasy and kind of go for adult, new adult, a little bit higher stakes, just because I find myself not enjoying it as much. And that's not to say that they're not good books. Don't get me wrong. There are really good books. I'm craving something more. And I think just YA is just not for me anymore personally. But, Yeah, so we had Rebel Witch was a 3.25 stars, and then we had Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone that Jess recommended, and this was a 4-star. So overall, I'm really happy with the picks that my friends had chosen, and yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and we will see you next time. Bye.